Alright, deck tech. So, after playing around a bit with the Ragavan list version, it did have some good results, but ultimately, the format is all over the place right now. And sometimes it is just good to have some proactive threats. So I do kind of like the idea of playing Dragon Rage Channeler again. And from a somewhat aesthetic point of view, and maybe just more than aesthetics, also just kind of from a deck design, I don't know how else to phrase it, type of point of view. I kind of like the way we're basically already set up to enable Delirium here. And why not just take a card that takes advantage of that, instead of, not take advantage of that. The only issue is of course, we can't literally fit all the cards that we love into the main deck. But, maybe that's okay. Maybe we can move Fury to the sideboard. Fury is an amazing card in a lot of matchups, but we do side it out a decent amount. Against more controlling matchups, against, more combo type matchups. I mean, sometimes it can tag a Planeswalker, so it's, but like at the same time, in the matchups where casting it for 5 mana is not going to be as good, we'd definitely rather have Dragon Rage Channeler. So, playing this in the sideboard seems like it might make a lot of sense, and we're going back to the 4 Pillage, 2 Magus, 4 Relic sideboard plan. I just think that basically Pillage plus Moon Effects is one of the easiest ways we have to juke victories against a good amount of combo and other types of decks that otherwise we have no business winning. Sure, some of them, like the Glimpse matchup, we're probably going to be an underdog to no matter what. But no matter how many Ensnaring Bridges or other types of cards we put in, they're always going to have their Brazen Borrowers or their Urlamog, the Ceaseless Hungers, or the old Urlamog, or, whatever. Like, they're going to have cards that can deal with permanents, most likely. Maybe not all of them, but most decks nowadays are, most of these, like, Cascade decks, I think, are packing Brazen Borrower, because it's just so good at dealing with permanent-based hate, because you only need to deal with it for one turn. And, obviously, like, Ensnaring Bridge definitely has its place, and I may go back to playing it for sure. But, maybe we should just embrace the fact that we're kind of an underdog to certain matchups. But, having a fairly swift clock, obviously this is not going to get enabled on, like, turn 2, but I think turn 3 is fairly reasonable. Having a card that can beat relatively quickly, also filter our draws, and just have, like, 6 Moon Effects, 4, like, ways to hit basic lands under Moon, we might have a fairly good ability to, sort of juke people out, so to speak. So, this is what I'm going to go with. Just feels right to me. Fury in the side, we get to play all the usual suspects that we know and love. I guess there could be an argument to be made to play Fury instead of Flame Slash, but I kind of like having 8 sorceries. We have 16 creatures, 8 sorceries, 8 instants, 4 artifacts, 4 enchantments, 4 lands that can send themselves to the graveyard, but honestly we put lands from the top into the graveyard from the surveillability so much the fetch lands may not even necessarily be strictly necessary, but still, they're a little... Sometimes, when you don't want to put the lands to the bottom, or when you just don't see them on top, it can be nice to have a land that automatically puts itself into the graveyard. So, we've got a very good smorgasbord of lands to be able to, turn on Delirium. I'm not sure what else I can really say about that, other than that I like this conceptually. I think this is a pretty good concept. We actually are playing Blast Zone instead of Radiant Fountain. Yes, I gave in. I've gone to the dark side. I know I was a big proponent of Radiant Fountain, and I still am. It's just that, like, there's so much stuff running around now, especially Hammer Time. Like, the main reason why Radiant Fountain was in the deck was ultimately because of burn. Sure, it had some application in some other matchups, but, like, I could eat a few percentage points in other matchups, but, like, really, it had the biggest swingy sort of effect in burn. And I just don't see that much burn anymore, and I see a lot of Hammer Time. Plus, Blast Zone is going to be, I think, overall more useful in more matchups. Unless burn makes a comeback in a big way, probably Blast Zone is going to be for the better. Of Of course, this means we almost forfeit the burn matchup, but then again, you know, we've got some more proactive threats. So, you know, maybe we don't completely forfeit the burn matchup. I mean, plus we've got 8 ways to deal with pro-red creatures now, so maybe we don't automatically lose to Core Firewalker. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see how this goes. Special thanks to, you know, my patrons, but thanks to everyone, you know, everyone for liking and subscribing. It really means a lot to me when you smash that like button. So if you could all do that, that really means a lot to me. I think if you watched this far, you know, you're already helping the algorithm out a lot. If you smash the like button, that's just gonna help the video just that much more. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so thank you to every viewer, every everyone who's participating. But special shout out thanks to the patrons who are supporting the channel financially now coming up shortly. So take care, everyone. Let's get going. Take care. Okay, time for the shout out. So thanks again to all my patrons. Definitely very appreciated. Yeah, as I'm going to go over in a second, I got a lot of new content. I'm not sure when and how exactly yeah, I'm going to disperse it out. Got a lot of stuff recorded. Got a lot of stuff you know, already in the chute, so to speak, ready to go. Just have to distribute it in the, you know, in an optimal way, ideally. But yeah, it's thanks to you all that that I feel like I can you know, invest, and you know, you know, it's definitely nice knowing that I'm not just kind of plugging away here without you know, without people that are really interested. And there's no better way that you're all showing your interest than supporting me, of course, on Patreon, on Patreon, but you know, on Patreon, but also you know, just liking, subscribing, commenting. Yeah, it's just it's all appreciated. Any way you can help. If you can become a patron, that's super appreciated. But if you can't, it's super appreciated. The best, you know, whatever the most support you can give, and if the most you can give is hitting that like button, that's definitely appreciated. So yeah, so thanks of course again to Frederick LeMay. Thanks to Pavilas Tomasoskas. Thanks Alexis. Thanks Jeremy Elder, Brett, Michael Patton, Tyler Smith, Jonas Sandiger, SWD JP, Alex C. Sarabaku, Brendan Hopgood, Trent Crofts, Jeff Clark, Adam Boyd, Gabriel W., Rodrigo Tomazi, and Andrew Watts. Thanks again. I did notice, you know, a few patrons had to drop out. I'll miss you all, but you know, if you can't afford, or otherwise, you know, if it's just not something that that you can do, is you know, don't worry about it. Definitely though, I appreciate all of you supporting me as much as you can. So hopefully all of you can enjoy my videos, and as much as, you know, as long as possible. I'm hoping to be here for the long haul for sure. But yeah. So let's see what we got going on. And as you can see me scrolling down, I got a lot of stuff that's already uploaded. It's already recorded. A lot of this is already combined into one video. A lot of this is excuse me. A lot of this is wait, I wonder why I can't. One second. A lot of this is oops. I wonder why I can't see all 35 posts without, I guess I have to go to my page. Alright, anyway. So I guess I have to, yeah, scroll down through my page to show the rest. Yeah, okay, so we got a lot coming up, of course. This week, for the Magic Mat channel, we have Mono Red Obosh Hammer, of course. I've got a lot of hammer content. I've got some Merfolk. I've definitely got a bit more hammer content coming up. And this week it's going to be Obosh Hammer. I got Bonecrusher Giant in the thumbnail because this is a version that's trying to squeeze this bad boy in here. And And of course, I just uploaded this one for the MHayashi gaming channel. And of course, if you become a patron, you're going to have early access to both the content that I upload to the Magic Mat channel and the Magic content that I upload to the MHayashi gaming channel as well. So it's kind of like two for the price of one in a way. But either way, I mean, I just have a lot of stuff, and I feel like it makes sense for me to have two channels. But anyway, this is how I'm doing it, at least right now. So what I've got coming up the week after this one is I got a mono red Obosh hammer, and here I got ensnaring bridge in the thumbnail, because this is where I'm going back to ensnaring bridge to see if this might help me with some of the heavy hitters in the format, like Murktide Regent, like the Cascade Rhino deck. There's just a lot of fairly big creatures lurking about in the modern format, and here I am trying to see if ensnaring bridge can give us an edge wherever there are large creatures that want to attack us, and ensnaring bridge says no to that. I've got mono green 12 Exalt and Infect League 3. If you're interested in that, here we're trying out Blight Mamba as our 2-drop Infect creature, since we're in mono green. Yeah, and then for MHayashi gaming content, I've also got League 6 for mono white Blink Blade. We got Sanctifier and Vec here for pro red, red hosing in the sideboard. But it's still the ephemerate concept, and I'm trying to become a master at this archetype. So if you're interested, you can watch me continue to try to master that. I've also got more 12 Exalt and Infect. This time for League 4, we got a Sajiri Step in the thumbnail. I believe because this version's playing 4 Sajiri Steps in the main. So I'm gonna see if we can consistently push infect damage without a hiccup more. Give ourselves like a preemptive protection boost to also maybe force out a removal spell. Like if we're guessing they've got a black removal spell in their hand, we can Sajiri Step, name black, or before we name black, they have to decide before we name. So maybe we just name black and we just go there if they're feeling that we might name the wrong color. But if we name right, we might win. But then if they don't want to take the chance, they have to go for it. And then if they go for it, we can maybe protect with Vines of Vastwood, or just preemptively see if they got a removal spell, so we don't go down on card advantage, even if we lose the protection war. It's Sajiri Step has been a very good card. So obviously the hesitation of playing 4 of is that there's color concerns. For what it's worth, though, it is a white source for casting Luris, so even though it doesn't produce green, unless, of course, we've got Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, which we're playing as a 4 of. I think I'm always going to be playing that as a 4 of for like till Kingdom Come, so to speak, in the mono green deck, because it just allows us to play these utility lands and just all of them, but tap for green. It's just nuts. But yeah, I mean, we'll see if Sajiri Step. Sajiri Step, at least as a 1F, has always made a ton of sense in this mono green build. We're going to see if we can even up it to 4, and if that might even do better for us. You know how we like to crank it up to 4 if something looks good enough. Let's see if that's applicable here, or if we have to go down to 1. But yeah, then we've got mono red Obosh hammer flashback League 43. So like I said, I started skipping ahead. That's why you probably saw the league numbering jump ahead, because I did want to start recording with the new microphone like I'm doing now. But I do have the previous leagues still recorded. It's still basically post Modern Horizons 2, so it's still essentially the same format. There's been some minor changes, but basically things haven't changed like that much. It's it's not like the pre-Modern Horizons 2 format. So if you're interested in seeing so if you're interested in seeing how we were doing a little while ago, back when we still were on Radiant Fountain, our deck actually hasn't changed all that much. So just more Obosh content. Probably gonna upload this as an all-in-one league at some point, maybe next weekend, maybe this Sunday. I'm not sure. Or either this, or like there's also a Merfolk league, which we'll see later. But here we've also got mono red Obosh Hammer League 54. This is going to be probably the week following next week. Either this or there's going to be a Merfolk league coming up as well. This is where we try 4 Fiery Eyelets again. That's why we got Fiery Eyelet in the thumbnail. And here we've got a treat. When I jumped ahead, I jumped ahead of a lot of experimenting, for lack of a better expression, with Merfolk. So hopefully, to all my Merfolk fans, you know, I'm going to hope to sprinkle some of these complete combined leagues with some of my content, some of my older content before I got the new microphone. You know, probably on the Magic Matt channel, so that the Merfolk and Mono Red content is all neatly there. But yeah, I'm trying, believe it or not, Mistress Factory in Merfolk, and no, I am not replacing Mutavault. That's why I call it Mutafactory, because I find that Mistress Factory and Mutavault complement each other quite well in all respects, except, of course, that they're both colorless. So we're going to see if that's a problem. And actually, you know, like, just uploading this actually makes me think. And though we're playing 24 lands, maybe playing 8 colorless sources actually is freer than I think. In any case, I actually did play 8 colorless sources, 12 blue sources in Legacy Merfolk for a long time, and of course, Legacy Merfolk players know that that's actually surprisingly doable. Usually, they play 4 Wastelands, 4 Mutavaults. Of course, you know, Days can kind of help in certain ways. There's a certain little different dynamic in the Legacy deck, but at the end of the day, I thought it was worth giving a shot, and I think you'll find it interesting. I think it's definitely worth. Mistress Factory is definitely a card worth considering in Merfolk, because it's another pseudo Mutavault. I mean, of course, you know, if you don't have a Lord, it's basically the same thing as a Lord, and it can also pump itself up, or it can pump Mutavault up. So sometimes if you got like a Mutavault and 2 Mistress Factories, you know, you can attack with a 4/4, and if all they got is a 3/3, sometimes you can push Mutavault through where you wouldn't be able to otherwise. It actually was so surprisingly good. I kind of explained a little bit in the video, but actually I started off as a budget Legacy player because I couldn't afford Wasteland in the beginning. But let me tell you, even when I did get my Wastelands eventually, I actually kind of still stuck with Mistress Factory for at least. I mean, you know, I probably went on Wasteland for a little bit, but then I think I ultimately ended up coming back to Mistress Factory because, at least in Legacy, because this card really surprised me. You know, also pumping up Mutavaults to save them from punishing fires may also be another factor. But of course, that's kind of a Legacy exclusive thing. But I'll tell you, it's definitely nice to have a way to get around punishing fire. That card is annoying in Legacy. Anyway, we're not talking about Legacy right now. But that's you know, yeah. And this is the all different 4 arts for the old Mistress Factory. I'm playing with the new Mistress Factory, but I always like the fact that these had these like 4 different seasons. But for consistency's sake, I've got the new art in the game. But anyway, oh, and here's maybe another trait. I've got mono blue Luris. Wait a minute, actually, this probably shouldn't be called mono blue. I'll probably change this after this video. But yeah, we got. I mean, it's mostly mono blue. Anyway, yeah, we got modern, mostly mono blue Luris Merfolk. Yeah, I mean, we're trying, you know, a very light black splash again. Got Tar Pit in the mix too, like usual. Like, you know, if all of you have followed my last like Merfolk build before Sveland came out, I'm trying this again, just to give myself a little baseline. You know what I mean? I've been using Sveland a lot, but just wanted to go back to this deck and see how this felt, see if this still had chops. You know, just wanted to make sure I didn't overlook maybe this being the superior build. Since I got hyped on Sveland, getting at least 1, if not maybe 2 trophies early on. Of course, it's petered out a little bit since then, but still. Yeah, so if you're interested to see me give Luris Merfolk another shot, we got that coming up. We've got, of course, the next Giant Merfolk build, following in the heels of the last Giant Merfolk deck trying to haul the Storm Giants. Here we got Counterspell in the thumbnail, because now I'm trying Counterspell in the main. I will say this much, and maybe I'll leave it at this. I think Counterspell is very good, and there's a reason why the Murktide decks are playing in the main deck, and I think that might give us a clue that maybe we should too. But in any case, if you're interested to see how that turns out, we've got that coming up too. And again, I'm not sure exactly how these are going to get sprinkled out, you know, how the distribution is going to go, but these will probably all end up on the on my 2 channels at some point. But you know, if any one of these catches your eye, if you want to see them right now, consider becoming a patron, because I am not sure when exactly these are going up, but they are all up on my Patreon now, and yeah, and I guess that's wait a minute, I thought I had I guess yeah. So all right, that's the new stuff coming up. Hope you like it. Yeah, thank you everybody again. That's what we've got. Yeah, so take care. Again, smash that like button if you like this content, and hope you all have a wonderful week. Take care.